Peace. What's good? Um, this is Hip Hop Rant Part 4. It's been about a month and a half since I did a hip hop rant. About to talk about a couple of things that's been bothering me. So stay tuned. Here it goes. First thing is um certain hip hop albums being out of print. Um, which is sad because it's like, especially like for somebody like me, like I as you guys should know that I'm really into like 90s hip hop, but certain albums that I want from the 90s are out of print. Even certain albums that I have in my collection are out of print, which is sad because it comes to show you how far hip hop has progressed as a culture, and it shows that hip hop is not getting any better. You understand? It's like it's getting ridiculous. It's like, and then like when you try to find those albums on the internet, or you go to certain stores, they'll have them used, and then they'll have it for like crazy amount of money. Like I'll give you an example. Eric Sermon, he's a perfect example. Everybody should know who Eric Sermon is. He's part of. He was one half of EPMD. Um, in my opinion, one of the most influential producers slash MCs. I don't care what nobody says. Paris Smith as well. Um, I just found out the other day that his albums are out of print, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me! Like, here's someone who's a legend that brought in something groundbreaking. As far as like sampling. Where like he was like the first artist to use like Parliament's like funk samples. This is before Dr. Dre started doing that shit. I mean, no disrespect to Dr. Dre, but I mean, Eric Sermon was doing that first. Don't believe me? Go peep. You guys should chill by EPMD. You know what I'm saying? Using the Parliament samples and stuff like that, and the George Clinton and all that, and cause like every once in a while I like to go on Amazon or Fye and check on the albums that I have. Just I don't know. It's something random that I do that I was just going like I was just typing on a artist's name and just to see if the albums are in print. Just for some reason I don't know why I do that, but I just do it just cause. And come to find out, Eric Sermon's solo albums are out of print. Like all of the albums, which is sad because, like I said before, it's like what he brought to the game, he should be so respected, but he's not, and that to me is a lack of disrespect. Is a lack of respect. Is so disrespectful. And by the way, um, happy that Eric Sermon went out alright. Because he had a heart attack a couple weeks ago. Because to show you that we gotta start taking care of ourselves, start eating more healthy, things of that nature. But here's an example of what I'm talking about. If you give me 1 second. Okay, I'm on the Fye. As you can see, Eric Sermon. It's a little blurry, but okay. Eric Sermon, search. Just to show you that I'm not bullshitting, I click on this. Yeah. Whatever. Okay. So, search Eric Sermon. Notice how you don't see no solo albums. You just see albums that he was featured on, vocal wise, or stuff that he produced on. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Alright. Then we go on Amazon.com. Okay. Here's the Eric Sermon album, music. That came out 2001. You see how it says 5 new from $24.99? And you see how it says for the Double or Nothing album, must have in your collection. I did a review on that. It says $89.99. Okay. Insomnia. I did a review on that a couple of days ago. Buy new 970 to 165. Chilltown was released in 2004. Buy new 249. Okay, the No Pressure album, I did a review on that as well. $30, 3 from new. So that shows you that these albums are out of print. Okay. Then I go on this website called Music, Movies, and More. I talked about that in my review. I think in one of my reviews or my rants. There's a store called Music, Movies, and More in West Palm Beach, and they have this is their website. Okay, Eric Sermon. Okay, Eric Sermon. Go. No matches were found. You see what I mean? Like, that shit is bullshit to me. I mean, here's Eric Sermon, a legend that fucking broke ground, and his albums are out of print. Like, come on, like that tells you that hip hop is dying. You know what I'm saying? Even especially like PMD, like Paris Smith, his albums are extremely hard to find. Like his like I have a Shady Business album, which I do have in my collection, but I had to go on Amazon and get that shit because his albums are hard to find and they're out of print. And it's sad, you know what I mean? And it goes to show you that, you know, hip hop is not in a good place. And then there's, believe it or not, there are young kids my age, well, I'm not a kid, but young people as myself that are really interested in this real hip hop shit. And they can't even gain the experience of, you know, buying a CD because it's out of print. But then yet we have all this bullshit commercial hip hop, mainstream bullshit. Well, there's a difference between mainstream and commercial, but you see what I mean. Eric Sermon is a mainstream artist, okay, and his albums are out of print. Like, what the hell? And then you wonder why people download is because it's shit like this. Their availability, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of people, you know, people say, you know, downloading is the cause of, you know, record shops, you know, closing out, and that's true. But at the same time, bootleg has always been around. You know, it's to the point they had bootleg vinyl. So you know what I'm saying. So you know, it's like a double-edged sword with that shit. But I don't know, man. It's like, but slowly but surely, like certain albums from the '90s are getting re-released, and they getting put on and to availability. For example, I did a review on Godfather's Don's Diabolique that came out in 1998. That album was it was out of print for years, but then last year they re-released it. Another couple albums, Mad Skills or Skills, his first album that came out in '96. From Where, dope album by the way. I don't have that in my collection, but that was out of print for mad long, and they re-released it. And as well as Al Tariq, his God Connections album that was also released in 1986. You know what I'm saying? Like Al Tariq, you know, for those who don't know who he is, he was one part of the Beatnuts back in the first album. I believe he was on the second album as well, but he left Beatnuts and, you know, to do a solo career and stuff like that, and then like he really to do other shit, and then like, you know, he released God Connection, but he had Beaten Up Productions on this shit, and it's a classic album. I don't care what nobody says. Go cop that album if you haven't heard it. But it just comes to show you where we progress as a culture in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? This is, you know, shit like that just be bothering me. Another thing that bothers me is mixtapes. People with mixtapes. Is anytime I go to hip hop venues, you know, for example, like concerts or anything and things of that nature, you always got that one dude that, you know, I understand, like, you know, you trying to push your music out and stuff like that. But what I don't like is they try to charge you for their mixtapes. I'm like, yo, like for example, I had one dude. I was going to the Wellington Mall, which is like 15 minutes away from where I live, whatever. You know, I was going to the parking lot. You know, I was in a car, whatever, looking for a parking space, whatever. And this dude stopped me, like, yo, you think I could talk to you? You think I could talk to you? Can I talk to you for a second? I'm like, cool, whatever. So, you know, I'm talking with dude, you know, dude's like, yo, man, like, yo, I'm trying to push this mixtape. You know, I've been on the radio. a couple of my songs been on the radio, blah 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 blah. And it was like, yo, I'm like, oh, cool, that's what's up, whatever. And it was like, yo, I'm just trying to sell for like $10 for a mixtape. Number one, my dude, nobody's gonna buy mixtapes. I'm sorry to say. Um, the fact that you're charging $10 for a mixtape, and the fact that you saying that you was on the radio, doesn't mean shit to me, because you have to consider other people. You gotta consider other people. And what I mean by that is that not everybody listens to the radio, especially me. You guys, people that know me personally, know that I don't listen to the radio. I'm and I don't like. I hate that commercial bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that shit. And I mean, I hate to say it, but based on what he said, I know he's one of those dudes that is making radio club songs of trap music. And that's not, I don't really like that kind of music, as I'm not into that shit, you know what I'm saying? But I told him, like, yo, I'm not, I don't know that, I don't know that you were on the radio. Like, I told him, like, I don't listen to the radio. And, if you want somebody to listen to your mixtape, play, like have a car, like have a radio or a car, play snippets of your songs. You understand? Don't assume because you was on the radio that people are gonna buy your shit. Go perform on venues. Then we will see, and we'll be the judge if we want to buy your shit. But even though, man, like $10 is too much, homeboy. Like, I don't know. That's just me. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want to feel heckled just to buy somebody's shit. I'm just not gonna do that. I'm sorry. That shit kills me, man. Like, man, like, I wish you guys luck, but people to buy your mixtapes, unless you're an established artist, people are not gonna buy your shit. I mean, have a radio, or if you have a car, have a nice system or something, and have nice speakers in your car. Again, play snippets. If I like what I hear, then maybe I'll buy it, but not for $10. You know what I mean? Or at least give it for free. Like, if you even could have, if people even collect CDs, because nowadays people just buy, you just fucking download, go on Bandcamp and just and download shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think people just need to be realistic on when it comes to mixtapes, man. It's just like not everybody's gonna buy mixtapes, especially with the internet age now. And another thing too, shout out to my man Misanthropic One. He said something about artists having a mixtape syndrome, whereas what he said was like certain artists, they will drop mad mixtapes and all this dope shit is on the mixtapes, but then when you buy their albums, or if some of them do release albums, like for example, Joe Budden is a perfect example of this shit. Whereas, well, let me get to the thing, like where an artist will put out mad mixtapes, but then when it comes to the album, it's mediocre. But it's like you were sold on the mixtapes, like damn, he or she is putting out dope shit. But then when you listen to the album, it's like it's not the shit that you're used to from the mixtapes. Perfect example of somebody like that is Joe Budden. I'm not the biggest Joe Budden fan, but I respect his hustle. Like, he, like, the dude can spit. But one thing that kills me about Joe Budden is like he's a cocky dude, and he's not a humble dude. Like, he's just, I don't know, there's just certain things about him, and it's just him bringing his personal life into the whole shit, and then like I don't know, it's just like shit like that pisses me off. Like, I'm not really into the whole personal issues. Like, just bring it in the music. That's what I'm about. But like, for example, like his Mood Music series, especially Mood Music Part 2, is one of my favorite mixtapes of 2005, if not one of my all-time favorite mixtapes of all time. Because the way that shit was, like, it played like an album. It felt like an album. It was like it was so groundbreaking at that time. You know what I mean? It was just so ill. Go peep that mixtape if you haven't heard it. Go peep it. You go on Dat Piff or whatever mixtape venue you could download it from, or if you want to buy it, if you could find it. But such a dope mixtape, and it's shit like that. I'll post on the link to Misanthropic's one's video that he did on that where he talks about, he breaks it down, you know what I mean, and he does a good job on that, and I'm glad somebody finally did that because I haven't seen anybody doing that. So much props to my man Misanthropic one. And the last thing I want to talk about is people sample snitching on YouTube, because I see this shit a lot. You like, like, cause I make beats myself, and I see people. I'll go on other people's beat videos or whatever, or even certain songs, like, and then I see like people putting like, oh, you used, like, for example, it'll be like, oh, you use Bob James's um fucking Sign of the Times sample, and it's like, then like what'll happen is like you'll have like these fucking people like UMG, like Universal Music Group, or Warner Music Group catch on to that, and then they'll fucking block your fucking video, and then you can't watch it no more. And that's the reason why a lot of music today is black sampling, because of people like that fucking sample snitch. It's bad enough that record labels are not having they don't have like a budget for sampling. I mean, I know they can, but they just refuse to pay the money, because certain artists, they want to charge you an arm and leg for a sample, and it kills me. Like, stop doing that. You know what I mean? Like, if you know what sample is, just keep it to yourself. If you want to know a certain sample, there's tons of websites you could go on to where people are posting the samples. Just don't ask the producer what sample it is. And another thing too, I noticed that certain producers on YouTube will post the name of the sample, like, like a Ahmad Jamal sample flip. I'm like, yo, you're just asking yourself to get banned from YouTube or to get your shit blocked. You understand? And that's why we have all this fucking synth pop auto tune bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it kills me, and that's what's killing hip hop. Fucking people not buying shit. People mixtapes, like Misanthropic once said, and people sample snitching. That's what's killing hip hop. You understand? And then next thing you know, you gonna have people with this auto tunes and like, I can't even do a good impression of this shit. They sound like a fucking robot busted a nut in your mouth, and then you having that auto tune shit. You understand? It's like, I don't know, man. It's shit like that pisses me off. It's like, oh man, it's like, I don't know, man. Like, we just gotta. That's why people have to start going to concerts, and I understand, like certain stores like FYE, they charge you an arm and a leg for certain albums, and I know you want to buy the albums, but they charge you an arm and a leg, and I'm a firm believer. I don't believe in paying full price for certain things, but that's why you go to concerts and you get them for dumb cheap. You get it from cheaper, and then you buy the merch, and you're supporting the artist. You understand? But that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to get that out of my chest. Hope you guys enjoyed that rant. Stay tuned for a beat video. It's been like about a week since I've done one. I know you guys been waiting for one. So hope you guys enjoyed that rant. Peace.